Welcome back, folks, to episode 3 of Mom's Basement. In this episode, Ryan, my best friend, and I that talk about football all the time decided to do this podcast. We're talking about the NFC side and the division winners. On top of that, we'll go through a little bit of our playoff bracket, too, what we think could potentially happen. Now, mind you, this is July. This is not real football season right now. We're excited for football season, and we're assuming that there's no injuries, which you can't predict those except Tua.
I have a feeling that we're going to have some disagreements in the NFC North, especially. So,
yeah, the NFC is a little bit challenging. It's not like the AFC, where the AFC teams are pretty much stacked against the NFC, except a handful of NFC teams that you could see arguably in the Super Bowl representing their side. Let's talk about the NFC East, though. Let's start there. I think this is the toughest division. It matches the AFC East in the toughest division. You got Philadelphia, Dallas, the Giants, and you got the Commanders. All of the teams except the Commanders, I think, have a potential to make the playoffs.
I agree with that.
So we obviously have the Commanders dead last.
Yes.
Philadelphia winning that division.
Yep.
Followed by, I'm going to have the Cowboys.
I have Dallas at 2 and New York at 3.
Yep, that's pretty much plain and simple. I have Dallas at 12-5.
I have Dallas at 9 and 8.
Okay, so you're 9-8, 9-8 with the Giants.
9 and 8 with the Giants. Yep.
I do have the Giants at 11-6. In a future episode, we're going to go through every game with each team. So right now, we're just basically talking about what we have them at and why we have them at that, and then we'll do an episode on each team differently and separately. And I think that's where most of our disagreements are going to come in.
Agreed. I also have the Eagles having the best record in the NFL.
At 15-2?
14 and 3.
Okay, so I have them at 15-2, which is better than what you have them at. I also have the Chiefs at 15-2 on the other side. So, all right, let's save the North for last because I think that's where the drama.
Yep.
That's where the drama is. Let's go to the South. This is a coin flip. I don't think any team in this division is going to have a winning record.
I think the Saints will. That's the only one I think will.
Now tell me there is a lot of people that are high on the Saints. I'm actually high on the Falcons in this one.
Yeah.
I have the Falcons winning the division. I like their draft. I think the Falcons have a lot more to prove. Now talk about the Saints though. I don't follow the Saints very much. Persuade me on the Saints here.
They just signed Carr, who I think is a better quarterback than Winston was last year. And I think that Michael Thomas is going to be healthy. If Michael Thomas is healthy, he can be opposite of Olive. Olive is a really good wide receiver. Their defense is probably one of the better ones in that division. I think the only one that even compares to their defense is Tampa. And I just think just adding Derek Carr can make them above 500 this year.
Do you think that Michael Thomas will play this year?
I do.
And how far, if Michael Thomas doesn't play, do you still have them winning the division?
Yes.
By a lot?
I have them winning by 1 game over Tampa Bay.
Okay. So my list in this division, I have Atlanta number 1, New Orleans number 2, Tampa 3, Carolina 4.
I have New Orleans number 1, Tampa number 2, Atlanta 3, Carolina 4.
At least we agreed on Carolina. Congratulations, Carolina, you got last. Carolina could potentially have the first-round draft pick next year, but when we move to the NFC West, I think we're going to find out who will have the number 1 pick in the NFL draft next year.
Yes, I have them.
So let's move to the West. San Francisco, Seattle, Rams, and Cardinals. This is where I think the first-round draft pick could potentially come from. The Arizona Cardinals.
Yep, I have them having the worst record by far.
And you know what? I have to reevaluate because looking at everybody they just lost and how their stock's going and how their team's handling situations, I just don't see them winning very many games.
How many games you got them winning?
Right now I have them at 5-12, but I think that's too high.
I have them at 2-15.
I think that's more realistic. Looking at their schedule, though, they start off pretty strong. First 8 games, I have them losing.
I have them winning week 1 and then not winning again until week 12.
against the Rams.
Yes, at home against the Rams.
You think that, okay. It's a home game, so yes. I still don't see that happening, even though I picked a win there too. I also picked a win against Chicago.
Not happening.
All right, so San Francisco, I think, is a clear favorite in the West.
Yes.
By a mile.
Yes.
Yep, 15-2 is what I have them at.
13-4.
Okay, Seattle and the Rams, I have them tied at 8-9.
I have Seattle in second at 9-8, and I have the Rams in third at 6-11.
So we're pretty close. I know a couple games off, but some of these games, if you look at the schedule, is a coin flip. And again, a coin flip sways a win and a loss.
Well, the Rams, are they going to stay healthy? You know, Stafford's been hurt. Cooper Kupp's been hurt. You know, they don't have Allen Robinson anymore, which, I mean, it's not a huge loss, but...
It's not a huge loss, but then you're talking Justin Fields has got DJ Moore and all these guys like, oh.
I said DJ Moore would be at least 3 touchdowns added to Justin Fields total.
Yeah, but let's take away some because his running abilities, so I think he still is under 15 this year. All right, so the NFC North, this is where all of Ryan and I's bets come into play.
Yes.
I have Minnesota winning that division.
No, not happening.
At 12-5.
I have Minnesota in third place at 6-11.
I have Detroit, number 2, 11-6.
Detroit wins the division 10-7.
I have Green Bay, also a potential future first-round pick this year, coming up in the draft. I have them at 2-15. Now, again, 2 games, 15 losses, 2 wins, 15 losses. Some of those games are coin flips. They could easily be 6-11.
I have Green Bay at 4-13.
So pretty similar, pretty close.
Yes.
Chicago. This is where a lot of our bets come in. I'm sorry, folks. I am not a fan of Ohio State quarterbacks. I think I've already mentioned this once. I don't have any faith in Ohio State quarterbacks advancing after 3 years. And if you want to Google this to verify my knowledge on this, if you can name a starting quarterback that went to Ohio State other than Justin Fields that has lasted 3 years. I mean, this is Justin Fields' 3rd year. If you can name an Ohio State quarterback that's lasted 3 years, then I'll make an extra $10 donation to Riley's Children's Miracle Network.
Yeah. I don't want to talk about that. Let's talk about the Bears.
All right, so this division, I think we could spend most of our time talking about this, which I think we're going to because this is where the debates are.
Yes.
So Ryan decided to bet me that Justin Fields will throw 20 touchdowns this year.
Which is a safe number. I'm confident he will get 20 touchdowns throwing.
Now, folks, if you want to, you can Google this. He has a total of 24 touchdowns thrown in 2 seasons in the NFL.
Yeah.
That's an average of 12 touchdowns a year. Now, last year he threw 17 of those. So, I mean, he has improved from his first year, but he didn't start his first year.
And he's going to improve from his second year to his third year.
He finished the first year as a starter, but he did not start his first year.
Exactly.
So, he's going to start this year. He has a whole year of film on him. They were debating whether they wanted to keep him at quarterback or trade him.
I think that was just all smoke screen for the draft.
Maybe.
You don't know what to believe around the draft.
I do, because he's an Ohio State quarterback.
I'm talking about trades and stuff. They're always, and who people's drafting, they're always throwing smoke screens around during the draft to get people thinking something that their other teams aren't.
What if Justin Fields went to the Colts for Anthony Richardson?
I don't know. I mean,
would you be that high on the Colts, saying that they could potentially win the division if Justin Fields was their quarterback?
Yeah, I would be.
Would you think that Justin Fields could throw 20 touchdowns in Indy?
Yes.
With who?
Pittman and Pierce. The Colts didn't have a competent quarterback last year.
I think Matt Ryan is a very decent quarterback that brought a lot of experience to that young team. It showed that there was a lack of leadership, but Michael Pittman is not a number 1 wide receiver. He is a 2 at best.
Yeah, but you get Justin Fields Indianapolis.
So you're telling me straight up you trade Anthony Richards for Justin Fields right now?
I'd have to see Richardson play, but no. I want.
So
I like the upside of Richardson.
You think that Justin Fields would have been a safer bet for the Colts? What if the Colts would have traded for Justin Fields?
And then I would have been all right with that. I wanted the Colts to draft Richardson from the beginning, but if they would have traded for Justin Fields, I'd have been okay with it.
You wanted the Colts to draft Will Levis.
I did not.
How dare you lie?
I am not lying.
You were we were watching the draft together. Oh, the Colts are going to get Will Levis.
I was surprised they didn't get Will Levis. Doesn't mean I wanted them to.
Yeah. All right. Back to the NFC North. We got so sidetracked because this is how we fight at work, and this is why people like listening to us. All right. So he does not think Minnesota's that good.
They lost a lot of key pieces on defense.
Yeah, but it's the offense that won them the games. It's the offense that have won them big games. And you know what? If it comes down to a last-minute play and Justin Jefferson has the ball or potential to have the ball, good night. It's going to be Minnesota.
If they had a different quarterback, I might be a little bit higher on them. But I don't trust Kirk Cousins.
To finish at least second in that division?
No. I think he's the third best quarterback in that division.
Because you have Justin Fields at number 2.
Jared Goff's one.
Yep. I'm not going to argue with Jared Goff. Jared Goff could be the best quarterback in that division, but I don't think Detroit's the best team in that division. I think with their gambling problems in their locker room right now, they're number 2 to Minnesota. So, folks, we have a bet, another one in this conference. If Minnesota finishes second or better in the division, then I win the bet. Mm-hmm. I believe we also have the Bears making the playoff bet this year as well.
We do.
I definitely don't have the Bears making the playoffs, and he definitely has the Bears making the playoffs.
I do.
I don't see the last place team in the NFL turning it around that fast to be a playoff team this year. A 1-year turnaround is not likely.
I think it could happen. I really do.
We both have Green Bay as crap this year. I've been watching a little bit of Jordan Love. He's not looking like he's ready to play.
Yeah.
Mentally,
he might they might come out and surprise us, but
yeah, mentally he's ready to play, but he is not physically strong enough to play the quarterback position, I don't think.
Yeah.
I mean, again, if players will listen to this and they're like, these guys don't know what they're talking about, I couldn't be there. I couldn't throw the ball. I'm not an athletic quarterback, but I do love watching the game.
Yes.
And I could tell you that if I make fun of them, it's not because of anything against them. It's because I just don't think that they're a quarterback.
Exactly.
So.
Ditto that statement.
So, yeah, before we get some hate on some people.
What you taking Jordan Love for?
These are just opinions about, where you're supposed to be at and the skill level for these guys.
What record did you have the Bears at?
6-11, and that was a generous 6-11.
I have them at 10-7.
Making the playoffs.
Making the playoffs.
Okay, so I think we just went through all those teams. What's your playoffs picture look like? Number 1 seed. Who do you have?
My number 1 seed is Philadelphia.
Okay. Number 2 seed?
San Francisco.
Yep, so I have that flip, but that's good. That's right there.
It could go either way, honestly.
Yep, 3 and 4.
Detroit, New Orleans.
Okay, and then your wild cards, your 3 wild cards.
Chicago, the Cowboys, and the Giants.
Okay, so, honestly, we're not very far off. Wait, you have the Bears winning the division?
No, I have Detroit winning the division.
Okay, what were your 3 wild card teams one more time?
Chicago, Dallas, and New York.
Okay, I didn't hear Chicago. That's I had to double check, you guys. I had to double check. Okay, so playoff picture. Who playing who, and who do you have going?
The playoffs. I have San Francisco beating New York Giants first round. I have Detroit getting their first playoff win since, 93?
Megatron.
Over the Cowboys. The Cowboys fans are faithful are going to be upset again this year. I'm sorry, Detroit or Dallas. Then I have the Bears beating New Orleans in New Orleans for my wild card weekend.
So not only do you have the Bears making the playoffs, you have the Bears winning a game in the playoffs.
You don't think the Bears can beat the Saints?
I don't think the Bears are in the playoffs.
But let's just say the Bears do make the playoffs. You don't think they can beat the Saints?
Not on the road.
I think they can.
New Orleans is a very hostile environment.
I think they can.
Okay. All right. Keep playing it out.
Okay.
Chicago is now playing who in your
Chicago division? Is at Philadelphia, and that's where they lose.
No. The Ryan doesn't have Chicago going all the way. Are you serious? Justin Fields, bro. Justin Fields.
I'm high in Chicago, but there's no way they can go into Philly and win.
There's no way they're going to make the playoffs. But this is great. This is a good time.
I have San Francisco beating the Lions in the divisional round.
So you have San Francisco, Philadelphia,
And
NFC Championship.
NFC Championship, San Francisco, Philadelphia. 49ers go on the road and beat the Eagles.
And then, so from the previous episode, you have the 49ers Chiefs Super Bowl.
Correct.
And the winner of that?
The winner of that is the Kansas City Chiefs.
I would be happy again with the Kansas City Chiefs as long as he beats Tom Brady's record. But if Kansas City wins all these Super Bowls and Tom Brady's record still stands, you know what, Patrick Mahomes, I have some words for you. Right now, I'm a fan until you beat it. You can't retire until you beat Tom Brady's record.
So this will give Patty Mahomes number 3.
Okay. So, there's disagreements. Again, you guys, I'm not going to talk about Chicago in my playoff bracket because they're just not in it. So
stop being a hater.
I have San Francisco winning number 1 seed overall. Philly number 2. So we just flipped those two. Not a big deal.
Yes.
Minnesota Vikings number 3,
not
baby.
Happening.
And Atlanta number 4.
Not happening either.
Wild cards are Dallas, Detroit, Giants. I'm kind of high on the Giants this year, not going to lie. I'm going to say Dallas beats Atlanta and moves on. So congratulations, Dallas. You won your first playoff game in forever. I say that because, Cowboys fans think they're going to win every year.
They're still not going to the Super Bowl.
No, I doubt it. We got Minnesota, Detroit. Minnesota with the
so
upset.
You have the Vikings winning a playoff game.
I do. I welcome Minnesota to the first Vikings playoff game win in a long time as well.
Not happening.
Either one of those teams, if they win, it's been a long time since they won their first playoff game.
I'm sorry, Minnesota faithful, but not happening.
I have the Phillies, the Eagles playing the Giants. And you know what? This is a coin flip for me. This is a big coin flip, and everybody's probably going to be like, are you serious? The Giants? No way. Philadelphia's the better team. 100% the better team, but this is the playoffs. This is the New York Giants, and this is a divisional game.
It's hard to beat somebody 3 times in a year.
100%, but you know what happens with the Giants in the playoffs when they just sneak in? They've won the Super Bowl every time.
Yes.
So I still have Philadelphia winning. Moving on, Philadelphia, Minnesota. I think it'll be a lot easier for Philadelphia to beat Minnesota than it would be the Giants. Philadelphia advancing. I have San Francisco, Dallas. Sorry, Dallas. Not happening again. San Francisco, Philly, NFC Championship just like you. San Francisco winning just like you. This year I have the 49ers playing the Bills. And the Bills seeking revenge from the 90s and winning their first ever Super Bowl. Let's go, Buffalo.
How excited would you be if that came to tuition?
I believe the city of Buffalo would be burning down. I don't know if anybody would work that whole year.
Yeah.
I don't know. That city deserves a Super Bowl. The city needs a Super Bowl. I'm a Bills fan, man. I don't even live in Buffalo, but I would be stoked. It's been a long time coming for these Buffalo Bills fans to win a Super Bowl.
If that happened, I probably wouldn't see it at work for about a month.
I'm pretty sure I'd become a millionaire because I'll put all my money on DraftKings if they win every year. Once they win their first Super Bowl, I'll be a millionaire.
There you go. There you go.
It's getting a little bit more expensive now that they're good, though.
Yeah. Yeah.
Odds are a lot heavier.
Yeah, I could put some money on the Colts and win a mega load if they win the Super Bowl.
Yeah, you could probably put a mega load on the Chicago Bears, too, and I think that's the best odds you could bet on in any of your playoff teams to make a bunch of money if you bet small.
Yeah, put $5 on the Bears.
Yeah, the payout's like $10 million. I know you were looking up Super Bowl odds last night with me.
Yeah.
And that was pretty funny that you had to scroll and scroll and scroll to find the Bears to even pop up as one of the options at plus 150 million or whatever it was.
I never said they were going to make the Super Bowl. I said they're going to make the playoffs.
Yes, but the odds of Super Bowl versus playoffs, if they make the playoffs, their odds are a lot better. There's only 7 teams in the NFC that can represent them.
They're going to win 10 games.
They weren't even the top 7, man. They weren't even in the top 7 in the NFC there.
They were in the bottom of the NFC. They were bottom of the NFL because they had the first overall pick. The only place they can go is up.
I feel bad for you, and I know you have a kid and all, but I'm taking this bet, and I'm taking the money, and I'm running with it.
Make a day out of it and bring my daughter. So.
And don't worry, guys. I'll film this. I'll film the bet when I win, eating everything that I have to eat, and we'll take a picture with it and
put it on
we'll
Instagram or something.
Yeah, I don't know if Instagram plays these, but it would definitely be on Facebook. Definitely be on YouTube. Follow us at Mom's Basement. We'll have to create our Facebook page.
Yeah.
Not that we haven't already. We're on episode 3. We should have it done and made already.
We should.
And we won't do editing, so we actually don't have it made right now. We're doing some pre-recording so we can post it a little bit sooner. Seeing this is more of a test to see how things go. These episodes will be a lot more boring until the football season actually starts.
So a little teaser for our next episode. We're going to talk about quarterbacks and how high Justin Fields is going to be on that list.
Yeah, our quarterback list. I mean, our top 7 or 8 are pretty similar, and then interchangeable from the rest of them. Like it's pretty coin flippy with all these quarterbacks too. I think we have a lot of quarterbacks that are mid to low level. I don't see a lot of quarterbacks top tier.
You disagree with me on Ryan Tannehill and Justin Fields, so.
You are low on Ryan Tannehill just because of your division and you're biased with the Colts. Just like I'm high on the Bills beating the Chiefs to go to the playoffs.
Not true.
All right. Well, let's end this episode. The NFC has been talked about, discussed. You have our NFC division winners. We both agree that San Francisco will be representing the NFC in the championship Super Bowl, but neither of us have the NFC winning the Super Bowl, so congratulations to the Buffalo Bills or the Kansas City Chiefs, if we're right.
The AFC is just better.
So much better. But, all right, we're logging off for today. Thanks for listening to the next episode of Mom's Basement.